Greetings and gratitude to all life forms and life workers who have found this Oz Collection 2020 August. I've been collecting Oz as the human aspect, but also connected to the cosmic. I've learned a lot of things from these stories, and there's a lot of legends in there, and a lot of things are forgotten. But like our buddy here's a Wogglebug. He was pretty popular in this day, but he's not talked about much anymore. He's an insect who got trapped underneath a magnifying glass and became highly magnified and thoroughly educated, and ended up becoming the teacher of a school and developed a sports education school. And he's a representation of sharing information to other people and sharing what you have to other people. And I do that, and I love to. So I will start with the first piece from my Oz collection I want to talk about. The Shadow of Oz Tarot features characters from all 14 books featured as the cards of the tarot, using all different art styles. This one uses the same art style as the MGM movie. So that movie I grew up with. I saw it a lot. My aunt was a collector of it, and I have some of the things from her collection here, and I will lead to that next. And knowing this was made by a really amazing company, and is a very unique deck if you can find it, the Shadow of Oz Tarot. And I've been using it for the last few years, and it's really helped me learn and understand divination, which is a form of magic, of seeing things and understanding and speaking the language of the universe. And Oz talks about how there's good witches and bad witches, and some in between. And so the evil sorceress Mombi fascinated me as a kid, and I loved the Oz movie, the MGM movie, and I wondered what if there was a continuation of the story like there was in the book. But there is in comic book form, and I'm about to show that to you now. So we got from Marvel, 1975, Land of Oz. The movie characters return. And we got the Wogglebug up here. And there's all kinds of shenanigans and unique events here. And I read this as a kid, and just to see the continuation, and I fell in love with the concept from one image I want to show here. So, being able to, the power of the Oz books is there's so much story going on that we will never know. The story is a lot more complex than we know of, and there's a lot of things going on in the background. So I'm going to show this image here. So Mombi is casting magic, the evil sorceress, and she's using something I just showed you, some cards. She got the 4 aces laying right there on the rim of the carpet. She's doing a lot of different types of stuff. So I saw this image, and I was like, what are those cards? And I would read this, and it was so fascinating. This image of these cards still are with me to this day, and are still echoing in my mind. And it's one of my favorite things in my Oz collection here. So next, these are more from my childhood, and then I'll get to the actual books that I have. I don't have all 14. I only have 10 of them, but plan to continue. I've read them all, but I don't have them all. So, Little Golden Book, Return to Oz, from the movie from the 80s, 1985, and it really showed a lot of things from my childhood, and because, like I said, I was very interested in how the story would continue. So here's the end of the pop-up book, The Emerald City. So, another Little Golden Book. This is a abbreviated children's version of the first book with the characters. This is a board game adventure through different areas of the story. And there is a spinner, but you can use dice. Here's Where's Waldo style Lost and Find. The Look and Find books. And kind of different tellings of it. And like I said, I really enjoyed the MGM movie, so here's the script of one of the greatest films ever made. One of the most seen films as well. So, those are my kind of periphery stuff. Now we'll go through the series. I have a very patchwork series. So, here's my copy from the Books of Wonder. So, HarperCollins Publishing has a lot of different side divisions. And here's the children's side division. Here's me as the Tin Man. So, it goes back. And so, this has the original illustrations. It's just paperback reprinting of the public domain book, which is most common for these. So, this one, the publishing is 1987 on this, so it's an older one. Oh no, on the copyright, but on the outside it says 2000, so it's a 20-year-old book. So year 2000. Looks good. Next one is from the 1950s. This was given to me from a family friend. So it's the second book, the Marvelous Land of Oz, but it's shortened to The Land of Oz. So this is and the author's note. So it has the original publisher, Riley and Lee. This was when they had the copyright. And my buddy, the Woggle Bug. So it's pretty good condition, just a little inside damaging. It was well loved, and it's well loved now, so because it's probably my favorite one to just read back. Okay, then next, now we have a former library edition. This is probably from the far back on the library edition is hard to tell because they're not dated the same way other books are, but it says 1993 or 1981, so I think it's 81. So it has all the librarying things, none of the covering. Good sturdy book, and I just love it. It's Ozma of Oz. I also have, in contrast, the Del Rey version. So the Del Rey it says 1978. Been damaged, beaten up on this one, but it's the mass market paperback version of this book, and this is the library version for schools. And these books were banned from some schools about because witchcraft and the way the stories were written and what Elfwing Baum believed and practiced. So I always wanted a library edition of one of these books, so I got both. And this collection is shared with me and my fiance, so we would trade books and have a good doing it while in long distance. Next we have Dorothy and the Wizard. This is the first of the HarperCollins Books of Wonder Classic Edition. So these books are meant to be the master editions of the book released to the public, but they also so it says Books of Wonder, HarperCollins, and I also have another one, but this was meant to be released as the open edition collecting. So basically you would mail away a certain amount and you get two books a month for a year, and then the extra ones if you pay, and you get all the 14 Oz books and one big collection, and they were generally read a lot by kids. And so growing up, another family friend had this full collection, and I always wanted one from the collection, so I found this real cheap on eBay, grabbed it up. It's from the 60s. Couldn't find an exact date on it, but because there's multiple releases throughout the 60s. The original copyright is 1908, so I couldn't find any documentation, which means it most likely came from a mail-away book series that somebody would have in a collection. So you would buy get two each time. So that's Dorothy and the Wizard. Okay, then the next book, The Road to Oz. So this is the Dover edition. and it's dated 1986. It has all the Oz characters there. Next we have the Emerald City. So here's the mass market paperback. Here's the original front cover. So this one is I think also dated in the 80s. This Dover edition, 1988. Okay. So here's a paperback, and here's the books of Wonder. And it's a cover. Beautiful insides based on each book. So these were not meant to be released in a collection. These were meant to be bought one by one and were basically sold to stores and collections. But okay, next we have one of my favorite ones. Is the mass market paperback 195 Rand McNally editions. So these were ones I saw at yard sales but I never got, and I've always wanted to find one, and I got them at a good price. So these were generally the cheapest ones. Yeah. So they're not dated very well, and I couldn't find the exact dating on this one, but it's probably from the 70s or 80s, and they were just mass market produced and just given out to people and businesses for raiding rooms and different things. They were just donated because it was easy to produce all 14 books in this format and just sell them to people, and it was there were door-to-door salesmen and stuff with Rand McNally. So this was like Rand McNally's when they had the rights, they would release it into a lot of offices and businesses, and in the children's area would have all these books and stuff. So these were ones I always remember seeing. So I picked up one with Patchwork Girl. The next book I have here is TikTok, and my favorite inside out of all the books, the map. So these Books of Wonder editions are just really amazing, and I'm glad to have them. My fiance, she prefers them. Here's the secondary map, because multiple maps have been produced. This is the original map. So to a kid, a map is the most awesome thing, and then to an adult, it's even amazing if you know how to get there. And these books show you how to get there if you know how to read them. Okay, so next I got the Scarecrow of Oz in this hardcover edition. And this is another part of my collection I've always wanted, and I finally was able to get one through my fiance, and she ended up seeing it at a bookstore and picked it up from the International Wizard of Oz Club. So the Oz Club, you would pay and order these books from the international fans of Oz, and they had a printing press, and they would make these really high quality, beautiful editions of these books. And oftentimes, and all the ones I have were owned by people, so there's writing in them. So came from different collections. So the coolest thing that none of the other ones have is these really amazing glossed image pages. The full color glossed color pages. It only has it at the front, so it only has the one glossed page. Throughout, there's other ones too. So the Scarecrow of Oz is a great book, and this is from the fans. And the dating I couldn't find on it because there's multiple runs, and I don't know. I'm not a master of any of this by far. I admit there's a lot I don't fully understand about all these publishers, but I could probably date this maybe into the 50s and 60s. They were releasing these since the 30s, but I don't think this one is one of the early 30s editions. I think this is probably my later edition, but because they still do, the International Wizard of Oz Club still does some form of this now. So they partner with a different publishing groups. So it's just really amazing, and that's one of the most out of the books, one of the coolest ones, I think, for me personally. But then we got The Lost Princess of Oz. Skipped a few books, so this is where my collection's incomplete. So this is the Dover edition. So it's from the same Dover series as The Road to Oz. The same type of production. So these are from the 80s, well loved, part of people's collections. So still well loved by me. We have The Lost Princess. This is the Dover, book 11. So we got it for $20, good price on it. One of my favorite books. Growing up, I love the Frogman. So beautiful version there. And then I got the spin-off book, The Little Wizard Stories. So this one is a Bataan Skylark book, and this book was always ever printed in hardcover, and this is the first printing ever in paperback. And I like as you can see, I like collecting paperbacks, and so beautiful, and little piece of history, and Bataan Sky, copyright 1988. So the first time ever in paperback, because before that it was always ever released like this. in the hardcover. So here's another library edition. As you can see, I love the library editions. So all of these HarperCollins books were also released and donated and bought by the libraries. So it's all glued on here, and the dust jacket's glued on, but it's a yellow. You can peek in there. Yeah, it's yellow, and it's a very beautiful edition, just like all the other ones. Dust jacket's nice and well made, and amazing illustrations. So very, very big font. These are short stories of the characters. It's like the extra book of Oz. And there's also the Wogglebug book, which I do not have as well. So that's my Oz collection, and thank you for watching. If you want more Oz content, let me know. I got a lot to say about these books, and when I get the full collection of the next 4 books I don't have, I will repost this video. So thank you everybody. Much gratitude and love.